Florida GOP now plans to take over Disney in feud over Don't Say Gay. Florida lawmakers will move to increase state control of Walt Disney World's private government. The notice posted on the Osceola County website says the Republican-controlled State House will take up legislation changing the structure and powers of the Reedy Creek Improvement District, as the 55-year-old Disney government is known. A bill has not yet been filed detailing exactly what changes will be under consideration. The notice serves as a procedural step in what has become a closely watched process between Disney and Florida Republican governor. Ron DeSantis last year signed legislation that would dissolve the Disney government in June 2023, a move aimed at punishing the company for its public opposition to a law that bans instruction on sexual orientation and gender identity in kindergarten through third grade and lessons deemed not age appropriate. Additionally, Disney said it would suspend political donations in the state and that it would support organizations' work to oppose the education law. DeSantis and State House Republicans slammed Disney, saying the entertainment giant had become a purveyor of so-called woke ideologies that are inappropriate for children. The squabble marked a rare moment of discord between the state and Disney, one of Florida's largest employers and a major political donor. The notice also says the legislation would intend to increase state accountability of the district, change how its governing body is selected, and revise permitting and rules, the district's regulatory frameworks, among other things. Listen, the CEO of Disney, I think, suffered because of this and was ousted, and they brought back the former CEO, and, he had I think this was a big part of that, to kind of mend fences with DeSantis. So, I think, again, this is another stunt by DeSantis more than anything. But again, it gets him headlines.
Actually, I think it's the opposite.
Yeah.
The previous CEO, Bob Chapek,
Yes.
was a lot more accommodating. He was actually silent when
Exactly.
first passed.
He was the quiet one.
He was the quiet one. Bob Iger is more of a fighter. Bob
Yeah.
Iger actually was welcomed back with open arms by the LGBTQ cast members.
Oh, yes.
And he will punch DeSantis, like rhetorically. He will punch DeSantis. This is not he is what he is afraid of. He is a highly successful CEO leading $1 billion company. Don't screw with Disney. Disney's
one of the issues that is also made clear in this article is DeSantis says that there will be no additional funding and there's no reason that this will change anything, but that de facto cannot be the case, right? You're going to have additional fire services, additional police services.
Republicans lie.
Yeah.
And where did the money come from? That's the question, right? He is trying to, DeSantis here is trying to work a move where the Reedy Creek District, because the Reedy Creek District, if it actually dissolves later this year, everything, including the bonds, will fall onto the residents of those two counties, Orange and Osceola, which will jack up their property taxes to astronomical level. And Ron DeSantis is like, no, that's not going to be the case. We're going to start something new. We're going to set up new government so that we can control Disney. You can't control Disney anymore. I mean, what are you going to do? Ban them? Like stop them from constructing another roller coaster if you don't like their politics?
I don't want to say I'm going to disagree with you, but I'm going to disagree with you. And the reason I do is I put a couple of ominous warnings. This story may be one of the really gigantic stories of 2023.
I agree.
Yeah.
And the reason is first, he has a supermajority in the House. And when they meet, if they figure out, well, we're going to do X or Y to cover the problem that you just outlined, and whatever kind of way that they're going to try to do that to cover up the objection that you just did, they're going to do it. And there's no one that's going to stop them because they have the supermajority. So all DeSantis has to do is to the House and Senate, this is what I want to do. And they're going to rubber stamp it, and he's going to get whatever he wants. The second thing is this is for LGBTQ community and Florida, and really for the future of the United States in the short run. This may be the moment. Reedy Creek may be what gets Ron DeSantis elected president of the United States. Because of exactly what you said. He's going to take on, it's not $1 billion company, it's a $50 billion company, and he's going to take them on front and center, and he's going to say, see, woke comes to die here, and that includes Disney. And I don't think we understand, I know y'all do, but I don't think many of us in community understand Reedy Creek. Reedy Creek is probably, in American history, many argue, I'm not going to argue the defense of it, but many argue that it is the most successful public-private partnership in the history of America. What did it do? It allowed Disney to build Walt Disney World, to purchase secretly in various different ways 48,000 acres, like 50 square miles of land in Central Florida, and then operate like a municipality as a private business. That's really what Reedy Creek is all about. And it allowed them to grow and grow and grow. The tax base grew and grew and grew, but they did not have to deal with the silly city commission and the silly building permits department and the silly county commission, et cetera, and so on. Reedy Creek gave them exception. The most successful public business partnership, arguably, in American history. Some have argued, I saw a course section at Harvard Business School, that they argue it's the most successful public-private business relationship in the history of the entire world, Reedy Creek. DeSantis is going to dismantle it. And he's going to dismantle it first, because he wants to, and second, because he can, and third, he wants to be president of the United States. The more he takes on Disney, the better it is for him. It may be the issue we're talking about in 23 leading into 24. He dismantled Reedy Creek, the most successful public-private business enterprise in history. And DeSantis did it. And there's going to be this whole sea of people in America going, cheer, cheer, cheer.
I rarely say this, but I agree with you.
Scary.
I can't disagree with you either. It is, I mean, Ron DeSantis is using outsized power in Florida in general.
But I'll also say, and I'm sure, I wonder if I also think that if this doesn't work for him, and then this could also be his big downfall. It's a very ballsy move.
It is, it's a teeter. I really think Reedy Creek could be the gigantic
it's that
issue.
kind of.
It could. He could live and die on that sword.
Yeah.
Either way, I don't know. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.